Hello? Hello? Hi everyone. Am I coming through okay? Is the microphone bouncing? It is. Hopefully that's all working. Let me know. Hey Mark, hey Matt. Looking forward to some evacuation? Me too. It's going to be a lot of... So this is... If you're just learning about this now, this is the latest game from Delicious Games and designer Vladimir Suchy. And it's going to be their... Well, one of their big Essen 2023 releases, as well as, they got two this year. Shipyard is back, and you can see in other videos me going on and on and on about Shipyard. I will be doing a video for the new edition, which I have a prototype of. This is a prototype too, but it should look just like the final one, I imagine, that will be printed and ready just in time for the show. And in the game, the world is all burnt up and rubbish. So we've got to clear off and send everyone to this new planet that we've found. And it's a kind of balancing act between we only produce things on the old world at the start of the game, but to do a lot of things we need resources to be produced or available on the new world. And we'll be taking things to spaceships, but as we do that we'll produce less and less on here, so you've got to make sure that you're bringing the right stuff over. I'm playing the solo game, and in that we do a couple of different things. So there's two ways of playing the main competitive game. You can play it just as a race, so the first person to satisfy some criteria, how many stadiums you've built, how much production you've got, progress you've made. As soon as one player does that, the game just ends. If nobody does that by the end, it's 4 rounds. So you can play that way, or you can play a points-based game where you'll always play 4 rounds, and you get goal cards that you'll score at the end of the game, amongst other things. So you play the solo game the points way, and the solo bot is basically just a little deck of cards that is going to do things from round to round and get in our way. There is another neutral player that just adds a bit more competition for turn order and the progress track over here that's going to determine what we can do on this new world. And yeah, there's stadiums we can build to make everybody happy, provide entertainment on planets old and new. There's infrastructure we can build to help our production on the new world. I've got loads of different technologies and things. We'll have a go, eh? So this is my first game of this, which, yeah, usually, well, last Essen it was like this as well. Like, as much as last week on the stream, I'm like, oh, I'd like to get to practice the games more and get more plays in before the streams. There is no chance. Working out the amount of time before Essen and the number of games there are, we're going to have to do it this way, which isn't bad, really. It's just, I've got to be less hard on myself for not being like an instant expert on all of these games. So yeah, strategy-wise, as always, even with games I've played a million times, I might do terrible strategies. Strategy-wise, it might be out the window, but hopefully we'll be right rules-wise, mostly. You can see the rules, they're available on Board Game Geek now. Everyone that's come. Hey Jareth, Private, Mikhail, how's it going? Oh yes, if you would like to support the channel and enable this ridiculous amount of playthroughs that's coming and is already exists on this channel. I've done hundreds of these, it's like over 700 at this point. I've done loads and loads and loads of them, probably 800. If you would like to help them keep existing and keep getting made, you can support the channel on Patreon and Ko-fi. Links are just in the chat there. Thanks, Matt, for waking up the Patreon bot. And they're in the description as well if you click on them in the future. Because this might end up being an edited video, although the chances of that got a little bit slimmer. Yeah, some work-related things and some YouTube work-related things have gone awry and are eating into the little time that is available for these things. So let's get going, shall we? Have I said all of the things? I think so. So I've got the rules open in front of me to make sure I get all of the steps right. And there is like a little reminder by your board. So should we have a look at my player board? Hopefully everything's like coming through all clearly here. So everyone has a similar player board. You pick a number, well, you get randomly dealt a number from what you pick one of the technology tiles from each of the sets. And I got 3, so I get the set of 3 tiles. And these are shuffled. They're basically split up into tiers. You can see the dots on them, show you what level they're on, but they're shuffled amongst them. When we get to do technologies, we go from the bottom up in columns, so it's going to make a difference that way. The path that you can unlock things as well as the set that you've got available there. We've got the new world and the old world, as we can see like on the main board, facing the same way. The new world doesn't produce anything at all just yet. The old world is going to produce some stuff, but we want that to change here. We want to get everybody off the old world. We're going to suffer points penalties at the end of the game for the places that we didn't manage to evacuate. We start off with a stadium that isn't providing much, but as the game progresses, the people expect entertainment, and they want you to have built so many stadiums at the start. So right now we have the income phase. So we are going to get resources, and if we look over at the old world here, all of my things, the pink circles there, are my population, everybody that I'm responsible for getting off the earth. They are over here and currently are providing me production, income. They are providing various resources. We have got population, that are the circles here, the people that we can see, and there are factories, and then there are these wild tokens that, well, they're not wild, but they provide me one of each of the resources. So each world is going to produce, and at the very start of the game, you're getting 7 of everything, because you can count up, like, let's say steel, the grey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of that. It's the same for all of the resources right at the start until we start bringing people off the planet. So I can basically say for sure that I'm getting, large cubes are 3s, small cubes are 1s. I'm getting 7 food. I am getting 7 energy. And I'm getting 7 steel. If I can grab it properly. There we go. And it was produced on the old world, so it comes to the old world side of my board. Certain things you're doing require you to spend resources from the proper side. Like if we want to do any of these infrastructure cards over here, the resources have got to come from the new world. If I want to send spaceships from the new world back to the old world, I've got to have energy on this world to do that. So that's it for my income, my production. Then the population eats, and the board tells us what the food requirement is going to be. I think, have I got another screen that'll show us that? Ah, it's all tiny. You can see from here. So it basically swaps over as the game goes on. Your old world food requirement starts the game at 5, 4, 2, 1 as the rounds go on, because hopefully people are going to be leaving this world, but demand will go up here, and you've got to have food available in the relevant place to feed your people. So at the start of the game, there is no food requirement for the new world, but there is 5 food requirement for the old world. So I lose 5 of that food, and I've just got 2 left. So 2 food, 7 energy, 7 steel to go in here. Then we check for entertainment. It tells us on the new world as well that in certain rounds, so from round 3 onwards, the people expect you to have a stadium, 2 stadiums by the start of round 4, 3 stadiums by the end of the game. Stadiums on the new world. I've got 1 stadium, but it's on the old world, so the people can't be entertained by that. So that's it for my income and production. We will earn production as we start to put things on the new world as well. Then we have the action phase. So I am playing the standard game of Evacuation right now. There is an advanced variant, but you know, let's start off a bit easier, right? So all of these action cards here, for our purposes, are just markers. They are just going to track how many times we have done an action from each section. The advanced version of the game, so all of these actions are split off into different sections. And in the advanced version of the game, you're going to get a hand of these cards, right? And they are going to let you either play one under an action slot, and you can do one of the actions from it, but you can only do an action from each slot once in a round, or you could do an action from one of your cards instead, and it's going to give you different levels of power, different types of actions you could do, maybe special abilities that's like you can only play this if you've got a particular symbol, or it will give you extra symbols and things that the normal actions can't do. That's all in the advanced action variant, but we're just going to do the basic one now. So the actions that you can do are limited by your energy, essentially. Whichever action you choose, you're just going to put a card underneath to track, hey, I did that this many times. If you try and do an action from the same group 4 or more times in a round, you've got to start paying an energy every time you want to do that. We've got this action tracker as well. So my first 2 actions are free. And if I want to do more than 2 actions in a round, I have to pay increasing amounts of energy on top of anything else I need to pay to be allowed to do that. So 7 looks like a lot right now, but it'll quickly dwindle, I think. So we've got all sorts of different actions, but I think one of the things I want to do, we can just about see my goals over here. I had to draft 4 of these. So the draft is done basically, you do 2 piles of 4, you look at 4, pick 1, discard 1 randomly from the deck, get that deck as a hand. So the bot is just randomly discarding things and you are drafting between the 2 piles, and then you end up with 4 cards and you discard 1. So I want to have a certain amount of spaceships by the end of the game. If I can have 4 spaceships, I can earn 6 points. Not a ton of points, but it's some. If I can have both of my progress markers past certain points on the progress track, I could earn quite a lot of points, but it's going to require a lot of progress movement to do that. And this is for year-end bonuses. If I can get the bottom year-end bonus many times, then I can earn points that way as well. If we look, can I just make this, just put it with everything all small a little bit? I'll make it big, because we need to... We need to see this all big, really. Jack, this is about the evacuation of Earth to Earth 2. The sun's going to burn Earth all up, and we've got to evacuate all of the folks to somewhere else. There we go. That's a nicer look. So we have these year-end cards. There are a load of random ones. There are 2 different ones that will always be the last year. You pick one of those for each game, but there are a load of random ones on top of that, 1 for each year. So if my power reaches exactly 6, I can have this bonus, or if it reaches exactly 11, you can have this bonus. You can play a variant where it's, you know, this number or under, you get this bonus, this number or under, you get this bonus, just to make it easier to do. But yeah, we're going to just have to try to get our power at exactly 11 to do this. So I want spaceships, I want a lot of progress, and I want my end goals to be exactly 11. You don't have to do, you know, all of your goals, but it's ways of getting more points. Hey Michael, how's it going? Your power is worked out. You may have other things that are just your power, but the main way that it happens is every time you take an action from one of these groups, that's adding to your power. So if I choose something from the 4 group, the actions are actually not as powerful as somewhere else. Like here, it's get a technology, but over here I could have a resource and a technology, and the resource can go anywhere. A great way of early on getting resources on the new world before we have any production. So you sometimes want to choose the worst version of actions so it will up your power. So we need to get some stuff available and out, don't we? That's the stuff I need to kind of keep in mind as my long-term goals. And I would like a spaceship. I have resources to make a spaceship. We can actually see the spaceship display right now. So the way I get it is one of these actions over in group 2. So I take a card. I don't want to zoom out even more so you can see like a load of space under here. We'll just keep track, and you can believe me. My first action of the game is going to be to build a spaceship. So I have these 3 to choose from, and they have different numbers of slots available. So you see these circles here. These can take my people from the old world These get flipped over and I get population markers or factory markers depending on what I'm moving. And they will take them over to the new world available to be settled in the future. That's great. The different colours of them correspond to the different coloured borders. They're basically the terrain that they're in. So you can see like these are touching like the desert, these are touching the sea. Like you have to take like a matching thing to be able to move things along. Some spaceships can also take buildings. They could be stadiums or they could be factories. So factories can come by the coloured borders just like the other things, or they can come as a building. The ones in the display currently can't take any buildings. It's a little section that's like right here. They can also take resources as well. So the advantage of this one, it's a bit cheaper to build. It does require food, which is a little bit scarce. I can still take a blue and I can still take a sea and a desert tile with me, but it costs 2 energy to fly it from the old world to the new world. But oh, my chat just disappeared then. I've got a technology down here that I could potentially unlock. All your ships fly for 1 energy instead. So I'm kind of thinking about comboing things like that. So I'm gonna go for that. So that's gonna cost me 2 steel. So I've got loads of that to start with. And 1 food. I do not have loads of that to start with. I grab this spaceship and I can actually pay for it on either planet, and the resources that paid for it is where the ship starts. So it goes onto my old world side. Hey Monica, how's it going? And yeah, I could save a bit of energy by unlocking this ability if I can get it. But we've got to think about, I want 11. I want exactly 11 on my power. I think let's go for this next. This is just going to be a 1. So my power now is 2 + 1 is 3. I'm going to go for this. So get a resource of your choice, and it can be anywhere. I'm going to go for... I'm going to go for lots of things. But I think I'm going to go for a steel over here. So I've got a steel on there. You decide when you're gaining these things, you can decide which side it's going to go on. And then also get a technology. So if you've seen my technology grid, you've got to start in the 1 section, like the bottom of a column, and work your way up, or you can start a new column if you want to. And the ones at the bottom only cost 1 technology action. In the future, they're going to cost 1 gets your disc on there, and then the second action moves it along, and now the power works. So I think, yeah, all your ships fly for 1 energy is going to save some, especially... Oh, I need to stock the ships up again as well. Because I could get another one if I wanted to. And I think I can afford it. So I've had a couple of actions. I think that's about as far ahead as my plan has got. Some of the other actions, you want to have population discs and factories on the new world for them to get on. You're in the chat for me, Monica. Is your chat not coming up? Is it being a bit weird? I'm seeing your messages anyway. Oh yeah, 2 actions I've had. So think about how many are we going to do this. Whenever you build a stadium, you also get technology and some food. That's quite nice. Well, all of it's quite nice, isn't it? All of it's extra stuff. Like when taking a spaceship, stadium, or infrastructure, choose from 2 more, and it gives you a smiley face. I'm taking actions ahead of time, aren't we? We're skipping Dr. Solobot. So there's a deck of cards, basically. Which chat can't you enter, Monica? You don't mean this one, do you? Because I can see you talking now. Forgetting the bot's turn. Rambling on. So I'm first player anyway. So we flip a card and the pair tells us what he's going to do, and the number and letter might help him make a little decision. Tell us about your new chairs, Micah. So he's going to be putting something out on the new world. Solo tile tells you where to place it. At the start of the game, we have a solo tile that is out here. And when the opponent takes a settlement action, move the tile around the edge of the board anti-clockwise and by the number of spaces indicated by the deck. So we have a 3 on top of the deck there. So it's going to move anti-clockwise 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. Find the site to settle by counting in that many spaces. Oh, and it says A, so we count this way. 1, 2, 3 spaces. They're going to settle this space, so it's just taking things away, blocking things off for me. They don't like produce anything like that stuff. Yeah, and that's what they get to do. They're going to keep going until they have only got 1 card left. So I did that as well. Well, they didn't affect me, which is a relief, isn't it? Then they are going to build a stadium. So they take the stadium with the indicated number, and it tells us they're going to take the stadium that's on the X. So this is going to give them 2 smiley faces, and this is important for turn order. The person with the happiest population, the most smiley faces, is going to go first in turn order. So that's where they are now. So we want more actions. We want to be producing things. Now I could, if I had a factory, I could spend the relevant resource, the resource that that factory is, and pop it out into the new world. But I don't have one yet. I could, by doing a technology, gain a steel factory. That's what I was thinking of doing. That's why I took the steel. And whenever you prefab a steel factory in future, you may prefab a second factory of any type, which is pretty nice. Like, you can only do it so many times. You've only got 4 factories of each colour. But that could save us some time, couldn't it? Like, prefab is the action that puts them out. But you've got to have them unlocked. You've got to have brought them over here. So maybe we don't need that just yet. Maybe we should have got an energy. Because I can, to try and get to this magic 11, I could just do 2 4 actions. And that would be okay. So you want to do as many actions as possible. And I want to take as much stuff over from the old world to the new world as possible. But remember, everything I take from the old world is going to hurt my production. I make 7 of everything at the moment. Everything I take away reduces that number. And I haven't put anything out on the new world yet. Because I can't until I've brought stuff over. Right. So we could. Oh, to show off some different things. What if instead of steel I chose food? Just so we can see some different actions early. Sometimes it takes me hours to get to an action. Right. Let's do some cloning. So this costs you a food only from the new world. So I've used the only thing that I've got. So it could have been anything that I've produced. And this lets you put 2 population markers on the new world side of your board. So there's nobody up here yet to clone, but we're cloning like our team of the survey team that's scouted out this new world. And so these are population tokens that I could now settle. I'm going to need to try and get some steel to do that though, but that'll be okay. Over to the bot. And what's he doing? Oh, he's flying people over. Why do his actions always keep disappearing? Remove the ship with the indicated number from the row. So he is taking the ship in position 2 away. It just refreshes things up a bit, and he changes the display of what we're seeing. So I think now, what are we on? 6. And I've had 3 actions and had to spend an energy to do that third action. We're getting an 11 is going to be tricky. Because I need a steel to settle in the new world. Which I can get from here or here. I can't get any resources this way. I could just get some resources and build up a little bit. Yeah, the bot's like taking stuff away. It's not like some involved flowcharty bot that's like competing with us for points. But it's getting in the way and taking things away from you, taking spaces away from the new world, blocking off spaces on the progress track and stuff. I need to do a 4 and a 1, don't I? So that's still going to cost me most of my energy. So do I want to unlock a technology and put a factory up? Although I wouldn't make anything just yet, because I can't really put it out. Because it's going to put me at 10. Yeah, go on. I want another plane. I want to do everything different. So do we want to get resources or do we want to unlock a technology? I think get resources. Let's work towards this. We want to have steel on the new planet to start settling people. So I want steel, and then I can do up to 3 conversions. I haven't paid the 2 energy yet, have I? So I've got a lot of steel. I do want 1 on my spaceship. I'm going to just earmark that to stay over there. Oh, and I need energy to send this spaceship over. I only need 1, so that I've got just enough energy. I only need 1 because of my technology. So I could turn 3 into 3 energy, and then I'd be able to do 6 actions. But I'm at 10 now. I only need to do 1 more action to get to 11. And you can convert, like, you can do conversions anywhere, but the thing you convert has to stay on its planet. So I could turn this steel into energy, but it would stay on this planet as energy. I don't know if I want to do the conversions. I just want the steel more than anything. All right, then. Stick with that. Refreshing the stadiums I'm forgetting to. We haven't got the infrastructure cards or anything yet. But I think that's okay. We wouldn't have done that just yet. Because I want leaves over there to do that as well. Yeah, I won't convert. And then the bot, can do 1 more action after this, is going to settle someone else. So we know that he's going to move the marker 1, 2 spaces anti-clockwise. B is on the card and 2 is on the card as well. So 1, 2. He's going to settle something and block off a space over here. So I'm not going to be able to settle there anymore. And so, limiting the spaces where I'm going to be able to put things. And then finally, my power is at 10. I'm going to have to pay my last 3 energy to be able to do another action. And it's going to have to be something in the 1, but these are quite nice actions. Maybe I should have gone for technology there instead of the steel, you know. Because I could do resource here and get the steel and then get the technology. Or I could get an infrastructure card ready. Hey, John. How's it going? Oh, on Patreon, you mean? Got swinging chairs. What do you mean? Oh, like they have at like a bar. I don't know if they have them at a lot of bars. They have them at a beachside bar in Discovery Cove. That's where my mind is right now. They fit better for the game table. That would be cool. Hey, John. Yeah, I'm changing my mind. Last time, instead, we got a technology. I'll do what I want. It's I can gain a steel factory. I'm not putting it out yet until next time. And then I'll gain the resource here. I could do infrastructure. Now let's do some more technology. So I'm going to work towards this one here. Each phase, when checking the power level, you could add or subtract 1 or 2, so it'll make it easier to get that goal in the future. But right now I have got 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I've got 2 there. Oof, I thought I'd worked it out wrong then. So finally, they are going to do something different. They're going to take an infrastructure card away. And on the wrong page again. They're just going to take the number 1 away. The number 1 is the oldest thing. That's not the one I want. The one that I want is this one, because I think I can get 2 factories in the tundra. So that's going to be it for the actions. And then after the actions, we do turn order. So basically, they have 2 smiley faces. I have none, because I haven't done anything towards it. So the bot is going to be first player. And then they have the neutral player, this yellow that I'm using, it's just there for blocking spaces, has 2.5 less than the solo player. So if I'm behind by 1 or 2, you move to second. So I stay second and they stay third. Someday I should play a game entirely by audience polls. I think it'd take a while. It would be cool. I think I did something like that. We did something like that with Quacks of Quedlinburg. I was playing against. Yeah, Georgina was like your team captain, and she was making all the decisions. So turn order changes. Then we do progress. So you calculate your power level, which is now 11. And the players advance how far it is. Now they're going to go before me. So let's have a look at the bot progress. So in odd years, this is year 1. Your opponent, the actual bot, moves this many spaces, which is 6. Their furthest ahead marker moves the number that's on their card. So it is going to be 1 that they'll move. Let's just say that one's further ahead. And it kind of blocks things off getting in the way. And then they've got 5 more movements, so the other marker will move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then it's me. I've got 11 movements because I picked exactly the right thing. And over in this track, you can see in the south things. So this track has got a load of symbols here. There are certain symbols on New World spaces, like here. To be able to put something on here, to be able to put a factory in this space, I have to have 2 of these suns. In the advanced variant, some of those cards can provide these symbols, but the main way of providing them is having your progress markers on certain spaces. So you need to be planning ahead that way as well. I don't particularly need that yet, because there are some things open, I think. Yeah, there's some basic factory spaces open to me, where I want to try and get some factories down, but I need to be thinking about that for the future, because I've got 11 moves now, and I can split them any way that I want between my 2 markers. We've got these 2 main lanes here, and certain spaces will give you resources for going in them. And we have this passing lane that doesn't actually provide anything, but these 2 tracks here can only have 1 token per space. This is a transition space, so we skip that. So I'm getting 11 movements, and this doesn't count. It doesn't cost anything to go diagonally. You can do what you want there. You say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now the downside of getting so much progress early is that you go past this transition. When one of your markers goes past this transition, then you have to flip one of these markers. It's gone. We've lost a production of 1 of each thing now for next round. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've had 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and I can have a resource on either side. Let's go for steel. We don't quite need the food just yet. I'm probably going to miss energy, aren't I? Right. So I've had 11 now, haven't I? And then the neutral player gets 11. Their furthest ahead thing, they're both tied for now. One of them's only going to move 1 space, and the other one's going to move 10 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now you can never move more than 1 transition away between your markers. So this one has to move past this marker to be able to move past here. Same for everybody's. Yeah, be blurry without your glasses. Right, so we've had progress now. Everyone's moved along that track. And as we move further along that track, it's going to, like, when the other one passes here, it's going to flip the other marker. In the future, when the first marker goes past here, you're now allowed to settle on desert. At the start, you're only allowed to settle on tundra. And when your second marker goes past, you take one of these and put it on your board and put all of your production markers up 1 on the new world. Over here, when your first marker goes past, you can now build in the forest section. And when your second marker goes past it, you get the other one and get a production for everything. And finally, when the first one goes past this, you can now build in the sea spaces. And if you look at some of the later New World spaces, every one of these that you end up putting a population of on increases your production on the New World of that type of thing. Every factory that you put down gives you a production of the thing that the factory makes. But you can see some of these spaces, oh, knock that, some of these spaces later on can provide you with 2 or even 3 of an extra, of a production. So yeah, that's what the progress track is going to do ultimately, as well as gain us all sorts of bonuses. I've had a resource, haven't I? Yep. So we've had the progress. Don't forget all of your bits. Then bonuses. So we're doing strict year-end bonuses. And it shows over here that I'm going to get a steel and a food. I think I'm going to put those on the new world. Yeah. So if I'd done exactly 6, I could have had a steel and I could have settled someone. But you can only settle people if you've got a population marker and you pay a steel. You've got to pay a steel whenever you do that. So if exactly matches one of the numbers, you get the corresponding bonus. Yes. Is it a one-way trip to the new world? It is not. The ships can come back, but you got to keep paying energy to do it. Have I skipped a phase? I've skipped the transport phase. I do apologise, everybody. Straight after the actions comes transport. I can still do the stuff. Like, they don't do this. Like, they're not actually buying the things and actually moving things about the bot. So I've got my stuff, and we can load up my ships. So I've got space for something that comes from the desert, something that comes from the water. And you can kind of, hopefully you can see, yeah, they've got like bright coloured outlines if you're unsure of what goes where. I can't take these. They will come from the progress track, as we've seen. So I can decide what to come. The food I require is 4. So I don't want to take stuff that's going to make my food production go under 4. I don't really want to take stuff that's going to really reduce my energy supply, since that's how I can do actions. I might have to do fewer actions this time, you know. Or be converting steel into food and things. Round 2 will be a bit more of a transitional thing, I think. So we can afford to move our food thing. I can do a blue and a yellow. So let's do a blue could be this. So what this does is flips over and it no longer produces anything for me on the old world. It had 2 population on it. So I get 2 population markers and put them on the ship. They're basically going to unload over on the New World side. So I'll have a lot of population markers to do stuff with. Yep. Then that's just 1. So I've got something that can come from a desert as well. So I can choose here, here, or here. I don't want... What did I make? I've already made my food go down by 1. I think this one, food and energy... I've already made my food go down by 1 though. I don't want my energy going down by 2, do I? I'm going to have to earn some more energy, I think. So that's going to come down. Or we could take a factory instead. Let's take a factory instead. So we can take the energy factory with us. So for that, I actually load one of my energy factories onto here. I pay the energy cost, which for me is always 1 energy, and I earmark this on the actual tile. It can take a resource with me. I already put a steel on there, so I remembered. So that flies over to the New World, and it gets unloaded. Now, all your stuff flies in step 2. So if you've got ships on here that want to fly back, you have to have already had energy on here for them to go back. It always costs 1 to go back. They're never carrying anything. But it costs normally the resources it says on the ship to fly in the first place. So that's flown. It's all on here, all nice. I've got more stuff available. And things are great. So I want to prefab a steel factory, and I could prefab this for free. But I need an energy on here to be able to send it back. Yeah, I want stuff. Right. So unloaded the ships, done. We're caught up now in the phase that I skipped. So a turnover, we've had progress, we've had the bonuses, then we just have cleanup, which I think is just the stuff being refreshed. So things in the X's get discarded, other things slide along. And we see new things here. I probably want to do some infrastructure. I have got a card that I need for that. I can remove all of this as well. Reset your actions, put your action counter back to 1. Oh, and remove the year-end bonus card. So the next one is going to want me to have 6 or 13 power. And I want to do the bottom power. I'm going to actually put a marker on here to remind me that I've done that once. We want a lot of progress. That's why I chose like a load of progress on here and do the bottom action cards, because I thought they would work quite well together. So then income, what's that going to be now? It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 food. 5 food? Oh, I'm going to have no spare food. Yeah, it's 5 food. I'm going to have 1 spare food. And the requirement is 4. So I'll just give myself 1. And then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 energy. Which is only going to be enough for 4 actions, unless I earn some more. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steel. Oh, so I've evened it out. Loads of steel, though, if we do some conversions this time. And we want to get 13 power out of these actions. We might want to build another spaceship, because if this one's not coming over until next round. But we can see now in the display, this one here is a bit pricey. Although we can afford it, can't we? Not only can it take the 2 tiles, it can take 2 resources with it, but also can take a building. It could take a stadium with it, or it could take a factory. So I've taken a factory the normal way, but factories can come this way as well, not counting towards these 2, and they could come from any type of terrain. That's how you get, say, the factory in the middle here that's got no terrain type on it. That's how you can take that one. What happens if you don't have enough food? You get penalty markers that are worth, I believe, -3 points each. Yeah, -3 points each at the end of the game. Penalty token for every one you couldn't pay. So we do that. We check for stadiums, and I need to have a stadium at the start of year 3, or they're going to get annoyed. So I either need to have the resources on here to build it. 3 steel gets me a 2 smiley face stadium. I need to shuffle their deck up as well, because they're going first, aren't they, actually? I've got my eye on that spaceship. I'd like that. So what are they doing? Oh, I've got it upside down. So what have we got here? They're getting a stadium. They're taking the 3-cost stadium. That's gone, but a 1 plant cost stadium comes out. These cheap ones don't provide you any smiley faces. So for turn order and stuff, not so good. But I want spaceships, I want year-end goals, and I want loads of progress for my goals, but I also want a load of points. I think it said 60 is good in solo. Yeah, 60 would be considered good. 80 if you have mastered the game. I mean, the energy costs that you're paying to do your actions, they have to come from the old world. That hasn't mattered yet because I've only had it at the old world. But once you have moved over, so once one of my satellites goes past this point, I could start paying energy from either world. When both of my satellites have gone past this point, I have to only pay energy from this world. So that's something to worry about as well. Okay, I think I want to pay 4 steel and my only 2 food to buy a spaceship. So that's going to have me put in a card in here, the number 2. Still need 11 more power. And I want to earmark an energy, so that can go over there. I also need to make sure there's energy here. I'm going to run out of resources so quick, aren't I? We're going to have to convert some steel into stuff, I think. Bot is going to take a spaceship away. Oh, I need to fill them up first. So this one, this costs 2 and 2. Can only take 1 circular tile. And can move 1 building and 1 resource. But only costs 1 to fly. That one's taken away and we fill up again. 3 steel, 1 plant, only 1 circle, 1 building, 2 resources. So yeah, I think I got a pretty good deal. It was quite expensive steel-wise. Let's get some things out. Let's prefab some factories. So this is a 3-cost action. And so you have to have the factories available here. This is my general supply, 4 of each. These are available to build. So I'm going to prefab a steel factory. It costs me a steel to go out. It costs the resource of the factory to go out. I can only put it in Tundra for now, but there are a few free spots that I can place them on. So let's put it out here. I've paid me steel to do it, and my production on the new world of steel goes up. Yep, and whenever I prefab a steel factory, I can prefab a second factory of any... Oh no, I need to do these in a different order, don't I? Take back all of that. Production back down. Okay, earn some resources. Let's do this then, a big 4. Let's earn energy on this side, but I also want energy to bring this back. We'll sort that in a minute. 3 conversions. I'm going to convert 3 steel to 3 energy over here in order to do more actions later. That's my second action. It's gorgeous but complicated. Yeah, pretty much. It's not like massively complicated. It's complicated trying to come up with a strategy that works well. And constantly, oh, this is my first time playing it. And constantly you're like, oh, if I had done this other thing last time, that would work a lot better. And I don't mind take-backs. Okay, they're settling somewhere. So let's see, they've got a 2, 1, 2. And we're looking at the B, 1, 2. They are going to settle over here. The bot's just taking things away. The bot is like filling up the board, getting in the way on the progress track, getting in the way of my of the turn order and stuff, taking things away from all of the displays. The score, like, other than that, you're playing against yourself. You're not playing against, like, it's not trying to simulate like a player or anything like that. Right, so now we've got the energy. Let's move up, pay an energy to do a third action, and let's prefab the factories like I said before. So there's the steel one going in, production goes up. There's the energy one going in, production goes up. And we've got all this population to try and sort out. That's 2 power doing that. But I have built up some nice steel, which will be all right for that. Make sure I'm doing it all right when it comes to it. Yeah, I think so. Right. Did you just steal 3 actions? I don't know about that. Right, he's taking a structure away. Number 1, I wanted to get a structure as well. And he'd do that while it's still here. Yeah. Right. I'm going to have to... We have to think about my power level. I want to do some infrastructure. But doing it down here might be tricky. This is going to be at Essen. This is just a prototype for now, but it should be... It looks pretty fine. It's just like a laser cut thing. If you're noticing my finger's getting a bit dirty. Let's come down here. This is only going to be a 1 power level. It's going to cost me 2 energy. Gain a resource. It's going to be energy. And get 2 infrastructure actions. Infrastructure is either taking a card from the display into your hand, or putting a card from your hand out, paid with resources from the new world. So the one that's just come out I'm not going to be able to do. So this one here is the one I've had my eye on for a while, because it wants me to have 2 factories on the tundra in the same diagonal line. And quite easy to do at the start anyway. The other one would like me to have 2 factories in a straight line with each other, which that card's only just come out. I couldn't have been building towards that, and I'm lucky this didn't get taken away really. So I can play it with my second infrastructure icon, and I've satisfied the condition already. You don't have to have already satisfied the condition to play it. It can be out and then it kicks in once you've satisfied it. But I increase my steel and food production on the new world by 1 each, and that can just go off to the side for a minute. I've got my energy for that ship. I've earmarked my energy for that ship. And my power is at the moment 10. I don't know how that's going to work. So I wanted to settle. I've only got 1 more action and I wanted to settle with it. But I can increase the power by 1 or 2. Brilliant. Okay, the bot, their last action is going to be to settle. So that's going to move them there. 1B, they are going to settle. Do they do both of the things here? Well, that's not the one I wanted to do. Just had a worry then. Yeah, I think they just settle the site in. Right. So that's it for them. I'm going to have to pay 3 energy to do this. That's okay, we've got a bit of spare energy. And I want to settle a new world site. Yes. So the site I want to do something with a couple of icons on it. But looking at the progress track, I've only gone for like this, what is that, like a black hole symbol? Where am I? I've got, oh, suns. I've only gone for suns. So the only place I can put something down, actually, because of that choice, should maybe, like, I could have put him there. Could have just decided that. But I can grab 2 energy here, so maybe that'll be okay. So it costs a steel each to put population out. And 1 site is over here, so I can put both of these down. I've got the sun symbol on the progress track, so that's fine. And you can see that those population are going on energy spaces. And so my energy production on the new world is bumped up as well. Ooh, my production of food isn't going to be enough, is it? Yeah, I haven't even got any I can bring over on my ship either. Right. So I think we're going to pass for actions, and the bot passes as well. While I'm thinking about it, they get an extra card for the 3rd round onward. So it's transport. What are we going to transport? I only have a 2 food like requirement over here now. And that's going to get flipped over in a minute anyway. So I'm going to take something from blue and something from yellow. Blue, yellow. So they get flipped over. And I get 4 more population. Yeah, I can't take the factories like that. I can only take 1 building. I want to take a factory. Hi, Marty. But I think to avoid the wrath of the people, I'm going to take a stadium along with me. I can take 2 resources as well. This is just on here to remind me that I've got to pay for it. Oh no, he wants to jump up. I don't know why I'm thinking that I can stop him. We want steel to put people out, don't we? We do also want energy and stuff, but we produce some energy. Yeah. We'll send 2 of that with it as well. And then we'll put an energy on this ship so that it can come back. And just like that, we've swapped over. That energy's spent. But they brought this steel with them. I've got a load of population markers again. Maybe more than I needed to bring. But we want to evacuate the people. That's the plan. Okay, so that's transport. Then turn order. They didn't get another stadium this time. Oh, they did, didn't they? So theirs is 4, which means the neutral player is 1.5, and my smiley faces is still 0. So I'm going to be last in terms of progress, which is now. So their progress, they swap. So in even numbered rounds, the bot, the white player, is going to move 13 spaces. Their furthest along is going to move 3. 1, 2, 3. Hi, Marty. You may all have to just remember where everything was, as this tail just swishes everything. It's not even close to dinner time, Marty. I'm going to have to try and gently convince him to come off. Well, hey, you get to see Marty at a time when he doesn't want to be on his camera. Why don't you go on your chair? I'll try and move him. And I could probably bet pretty strongly that he's got no interest on being on that chair and wants... This is where he wants to be. Right. What was going on? Progress. They've moved 3. And so this one needs to move 10. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm guessing they would block a symbol off, right, if they have the option. And then yellow's going to go, who are going to move 6. Their furthest one moves 3. But they're both going to move 3. So it's okay, because this one can move 3. Won't it block off the one with more symbols? And this one can move 1, 2, 3. And then I can add or subtract 1 or 2. Can I do that differently for each phase? Yes. So I'm going to say +2 in the progress phase. So I've actually got 14 progress, but I can choose to only add 1 in the goal phase so I meet the goal exactly. Just clarify that in the technology tiles bit. So I've got 14 progress here to deal with. So that's 1. That's going to decrease this again. 2, 3, 4. I want to be on something. 5. It's got to end on a space with an effect. Or if we move this one up a little bit, 6, 7, and I could get a technology that way. How much have I got altogether? 14. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I wouldn't have any symbols, would be the danger, but I could build on Tundra. Oh, I've not got that technology. I haven't have a map. Oh, I've lost count now. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8. I moved 3. So that's moved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got to make different decisions then. Let's just say we've missed out on it. We'll just score worse. I can't go back. But that means we're not going to get the end goal bonus. Yeah, I forgot I've only got 1. Oh, we won't get the 14 movements, but I will unlock the technology in a minute. So we'll be able to do it for the goal. So I suppose that's okay. So how much have I spent here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 12. Yeah, so I've got 5 more. So unfortunately can't get that past there. Now, you don't have to move the full amount. So do I want to move the full amount or do I want the resource on either planet? I tell you what, I want the resource. So it's food and I don't get punished. And I get the technology. Now we've got the power level. Okay. That's okay. I've done it properly now. Right. Turn order, progress, bonuses. We did reach 13, so I can gain a steel somewhere. Our steel production is only going to be 3. Do I want to put the steel on the old planet so I can make spaceships on the old planet and still have them bring stuff over? So I want to have 4 spaceships, but steel's what you want for people to go out over here. You only produce 2. I have a steel on the new planet. So we could be settling one of these sites now that can do 3 more population markers in one go. That would be nice. That'd maybe catch us up a bit in round 3. Right. Bending my brain. Bonus is done. And I was able to do that bonus because now we've unlocked the technology. Clean up. So he's got his new card and that'll shuffle in. He is on his bed. His camera's not plugged in, but it may be a return to the multicam for future streams, which will be. There might have to be a surprise stream on Monday, actually, of Bone Wars, even though that has gone up on Patreon. There's a mistake that's bigger than I'm happier with, and there isn't going to be time to completely record and edit another one. So I think we're going to be live unusually on a Monday night. Right, clean up, clean up, clean up. Spaceship slides along. That's why the bot is very knowledgeable about the location of Marty. And hey, if you can, support the channel. It's good, isn't it? Right. I think that's all of the cleanup to do, isn't it? Clear my action stuff out. And this is only the basic version that's bending me out. Like the advanced version over here. Now you know more of what the game's like. Told you that the cards did stuff. So you can only go in each group once. So you've got a hand of 4 cards, right? And it gets replenished every turn when you decide to play one. But if you want to play something on your board, you have to basically discard a card and tuck it under there. If you want to play the card for its ability, that's what action you're tied to doing. And the power is on the card rather than the action slot that you chose. Some aren't even providing any power. Some will give you like extra symbols and stuff that modify some of the things. You can only play this card if you have that symbol, so adds to the progress decision. Some give you a choice of power to use, which again, you can choose a different thing in the bonus phase and the progress phase. But we're playing basic for now. Maybe we'll do another one with bonus. I don't know if I'll have a chance to do that before Essen. But we'll see. We'll see how it all goes. Right, I think that's all of me clean-up stuff done. Tell me rules, reset your action, freshen the thing, remove the year-end bonus card. So we want to have 10 power. That's not a lot. And we will get a technology unlock for it. We can now build on the tundra. Remember that. That's the year marker. Where's my year marker gone? Marty's knocked it off. So, income is going to be 3 food, 3 steel, 2 energy on this side. And on the new world, we are producing 3 energy. I suppose we're back to 7. So it's all right, isn't it? 2 steel, not up to 7 steel though, and 1 food, not up to 7 food. And then we've got to pay. Have we got a stadium? Yes. The people are happy. Can we pay 2 food here? Yes. Can we pay 2 food here? Just about. And that's income done. Actions. Oh, I can let the bot take the first action. Does feel heavy, doesn't it? I don't know, Woodcraft tied me up in knots as well. So did Praga as well, but less like... Yeah, Woodcraft was a bit more tricky. Maybe this was, it's hard to remember, like the beginnings of like the first plays of Underwater Cities. Maybe around that as well. It's not the same in like building up an engine of those kind of cards, but it's got a couple of similarities of like playing the cards under the slots and things, isn't it? Oh, so it's doing this new thing right away, settle in. And watch it get right in my way. It's going to move 1, 2, 3. And settle. 1, 2, 3. Can't go there. So what does it do? This is the first time that's happened. If the site is already settled, your opponent doesn't settle. Okay. That's nice then. So, I want to settle. We want a lot of stuff getting done. Do I want to buy another spaceship? I want to. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Maybe one that just wants steel, but can't take as much stuff. It could take a factory though, couldn't it? We've got some energy. We probably want to settle a site. Yeah, 1 action. Let's settle a site. So it's going to cost 3 steel this time. And let's choose something in the tundra now we can settle here. So I've only got 1 sun symbol. And actually, the only 3 that we can settle on is here. That's a bit of a shame. But, yeah, I needed the... It was better not taking the penalty, I think. Let's settle here. So this is going to be an energy and 2 food, which is good because next time we're going to need 4 food. So an energy and 2 food, up in the production a little bit. And I'm thinking, this is okay, isn't it? This doesn't specify whether it wants them to be population tokens or factories. I have done this. Settle 2 diagonally. Oh, do they want to be adjacent, though? No, in the same diagonal line. Yeah, that's okay according to the example it gives. So yeah, if that doesn't get taken away, I think I'm going to do that. What's he doing? He's building a stadium. Number 1, it does not provide him with any happiness. Not that I'm getting anywhere near that, but I need to have another stadium. Oh, I need to have a stadium built. Ugh. Right. Did I have the bonus? I just had this, but I could also move a thing over. What did I produce? I've got 2 spare energy. I've only just made this steel. Yeah, I could have moved in it. I think that's moving energy over, isn't it? Year-end bonuses. It doesn't clarify this one for me in the iconography, but I would assume that's... Or is that a swap? Did we have something on here we could have swapped for something else? I think it was just all steel, wasn't it? Never mind, just don't do a swap. To build these stadiums, 2 steel and an energy, we could do that maybe. There's 2 smiley faces, and we'd go to 2nd place, like for progress. Not really been in my way that much yet. I could probably just get a food, couldn't I? Somehow for that. So I'd like to settle again on like a... Ooh. Let's settle again. 2nd action. More settling. I'm just going to need 2 because I haven't actually got access to another... Ooh. Do we want to do infrastructure though? Let's do infrastructure. Get yourself a food in the new world. And get that card. Because we've got 2 things in the tundra in a diagonal line. We've got them actually side by side. Oh, they're not 2 factories though. Never mind. We've got this. 1 thing gets it. 2nd thing builds it. The exclamation mark means there is another card in the deck with this illustration and you're not allowed things that are the same illustration. So be aware of that. But we now get a food and a steel production. So that's looking a bit nicer, isn't it? So that's my 2nd action. Bot is settling. So they're not moving the token. And they're going A, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's already occupied. Sorry, bot. So I need to kind of think about the energy here. Convert that big one into the 3. Because I'm supposed to, if I want these to take off... Oh, you're not seeing me thing. If I want these to take off, I'm going to have to save an energy each on them. Well, I don't have to put them on them, but to keep things straight in my head, I do. Is it on 3 or 4 as well? We can get everyone off. We can get everyone. Right. Settling. This is going to cost an energy. And 2 steel. 2 markers out. Where are they going to go? I was thinking food and steel. I just want energy though, so I can do stuff. I've pretty much got my choice of anything up here. I don't need any symbols to put them out. Whoop. Let's go for... Oh, we might want them in a diagonal line though, mightn't we? Let's go for energy. See how that works out. So 2 more energy there. And I've still got a population that I could put out in the future, but I don't have any steel anymore. Bot is getting rid of a spaceship. I need to make sure I've got an infrastructure card out as well. There is a 2 deck of infrastructure that comes after all the ones I've gone. They're getting rid of the middle spaceship. What was I thinking of buying? Was it that one? Might have been. I don't think I'd really set my heart on one. No, but I think an identical one's come out. Oh, it can take 1 fewer resource, but it's cheaper to fly. But I want the ones that are more expensive to fly because I get the discount. Okay, now it's going to start costing us energy that we don't really have to do actions. I want to buy a spaceship. I would like 3 or 4 spaceships. I could get myself... Having a... Oh, I've done that twice now, haven't I? We need to think about doing things with big numbers. I need 10 exactly, and at the moment I've got 5. But we can add 2 to it, can't we? And we want progress. We want to get our markers really far. I have got the energy for now that I could spend, as long as I can do actions that earn it afterwards. So my 4th action is going to cost me 2 energy. But then what action do I want to do? I particularly want an infrastructure card, because the ones out wouldn't help. You can, in the same way as it's Prague you can do it with, you can spend any 1 resource from anywhere to refresh any one of the displays before you decide whatever you're doing. And you don't have to then buy from that display. Do we even want another spaceship? I do want to be able to move buildings. Let's buy a spaceship. And it's going to cost me 3 steel. But then that's another energy. So that's going to be your last thing. That's going to be your last action if you... Well, I haven't actually got to spend it yet, but I'm not going to be able to earn 2 more energy, am I? Buy that. So that's cost me the 3 steel. Bot is gonna settle. So they move the marker 1, 2. And it's going to be B, 1, 2. They're settling here. Actually, I'm just filling it up with everything. Just blocking it off from me. And so to do an action, I've got to spend all of this energy, and I would need to earn 2 energy back. That gives me a technology, not an energy. do any action to reach the requirement because of my up or down by 2. I mean, we could just not send that spaceship off this time, or this one. Choose one of them not to send back. I've got nothing with Tundra as an option, have I? It's not gaining me factories. I could be gaining him through actions. So I've also got to have a stadium built. I'm going to build a stadium in this state. You can also make factories on this side and then use your ships to bring them over. How do I build? Oh yeah, the stadium thing's right there. So if we did another stadium action, that wouldn't give me any resources though. And I wouldn't be able to fly the ships. Like I'd be able to choose one ship to fly this round. Or we just don't do it. But if we don't do it, I can't get enough power. Let's just go here so we've got the progress. Get myself an energy. So it's going to cost 3 energy to do. I can spend from either side for now. Get myself an energy. Here. And swap this into an energy here. Basically, I know a bit of a waste of an action, but so that I can... So I've reached the power threshold, basically, of doing that again. Hopefully that's going to net me some points. We've got some production now. I haven't made 2 stadiums, though. They're going to dock me some points for that. So I have got enough to transport. It's going to lose me production, of course, but... Let's see, what do we want to take? What have we got left? Next round, we only need 1 production. So I'm going to have this as the building that we transport. And I can take 2 things from blue. Oh, maybe I don't need the energy then. I need to earn the energy back though if I was going to do an action. I think that was the only way of doing it. Because that's on blue, that's on yellow. I need something that can bring back like 2 grey next time. And that's going to still produce 1 of that. You could take that with you. I haven't even really got the resources to bring back. But you will be back here next time and you can bring a building with you. And I don't know why I'm bringing it all. So I get a factory and 4 population. And that green's coming with. For these guys. I think I did prefab wrong at the beginning, didn't I? I think I could have done a different action. The bot's doing an extra action because it will now, and takes away a card. I'm not into the 2s yet, though. Oh, have population in tundra and a production in... No. Population in the desert, factory in the tundra. I could do that next time. I haven't got the energy to do any more actions this time, though. So, transport I did. Turn order is going to stay the same because I've got no smiley faces. Progress. So, back to the bot just having 6. The furthest ahead is just moving 1. And the other one's moving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The yellow one is going 10. The furthest is just going forward 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then me, I've got 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 13. And where am I? So I want to go 1, 2, 3. And then that will bring one of these over here, and all the production goes up 1. 4, 5, 2 suns there. 6. Oh, I could have gone in the middle. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I get the other one. 10, 11, 12, 13. If you go back 1 and you go there, I'm not on any symbols, but I could completely unlock a technology. Do it. Is that right? I think I've counted right. Because, yeah, I was going to have them both come over so I could get the other... Everything gets produced. So we've ended on here. I'm going to get 1 from the year-end bonus. That's fine. So I'm going to go for choose an infrastructure card and play it for free, ignoring its requirements. Do I have to have it in my hand? Nope. So I can play something I don't have the requirement for. So what about this? I can pay a resource to refresh the display. That won't get us into the 2s, though. The 2s are right down the bottom. Let's go for this. So I'll produce an extra steel and 2 more energy. Yeah. That might help things. So that was progress. Maybe they'll both get past C. And then bonuses. I got exactly 10 if you subtract 1 from my total thanks to my technology. So I can do another, well, I could unlock when taking a spaceship, stadium, or infrastructure, choose from 2 more. Or I could half unlock whenever you build a stadium, you also do a technology and get plants. A bit late, isn't it? Let's go for it. Right, they all clear out. That's 3 out of 4 rounds I've got the bottom bonus of. 11 in the final round we need. How many spaces are we from both my markers being past ocean? Because that's another requirement for 17 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 will do it. And if I can buy 1 more spaceship, that will be on goals. 17, 30, 42 out of the 60 I need. So maybe gold is going to get me through this by skin of my teeth. And we won't, I don't think we'll have penalties for evacuating people, because these spaceships, I guess, just aren't coming back now. We could do with a spaceship that could take 2 things from... Although, a spaceship that could take 1 from Grey and a factory, that would be everything. Everyone evacuated. Ooh. Right. Refreshing. Oh, it's going away, though. It was great, wasn't it? But it's gone now. Maybe we'll have to pay resources to refresh the display, or hope that the bot refreshes it in a way that suits us. Remember, that's available, but I don't need any more energy production. Ooh, a stadium that provides 5 smiley faces. Because the most smiley faces at the end of the game gets 4 points, and the other person gets nothing. In round 4, that's the final card. So what's the reward at the end? It's 1 infrastructure action. So that could just be getting a card and settle a site, paying the steel. And it can be the lower goal is the site you settle can be 1 transition beyond your normal limit. Right. Oh, I need to shuffle these cards. So income in the old world, that is going to be a grand total of a food that will get eaten up and 2 steel. Not very helpful for getting a new spaceship. In the new world, it's a lot more plentiful. We have got 9 energy. We don't produce any energy back here. To be able to move a spaceship. Might have to sort that out. Right. Oh, and the rest of your resources. 5 food, but 4 of it's getting eaten. So that's 1 new food. But 5 steel does come to stay. I could just buy a spaceship here and not evacuate anyone. I can't evacuate... Oh, I could evacuate a building with this spaceship. There'd still be 1 tile that couldn't go. Right. I'm not first, though, so I don't have to decide. Let's see. They're settling. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3. B. 1, 2, 3. They're settling that site. Are you liking the look of it, Mikhail? I'm really enjoying it. The staring is me desperately trying to think of of a good way of getting out of the predicament I've gotten myself into. Right, we have got more energy than we have had in previous rounds, though. Like production in general, I was a bit slow, I think, at getting there, but now I'm there. I think I've got a decent amount of stuff. Oh, we needed to check for stadiums, and they wanted 2 stadiums. Penalty. -3 points at the end, that's going to be. So, we might want to get a stadium built. We could just build one for 1 food that wouldn't provide any smiley faces. If we could do that one, though, 5 smiley faces catapults me into the lead. And I mean, there's an infrastructure action. There's also an infrastructure action. Do you know, first, I want to do the action here. Let's do a technology. Whenever I build a stadium, I also get a technology and a food. The bot is going to settle again. 1B there. That would get you 2 But I can settle in forest as well. Some of these spaces, he's just settled a space that was one token, got you 2 steel production. Remember, I've got no symbols to help me, and I can't settle anyone into the sea. So yeah, I don't think that's going to help me. Right, let's build a stadium. Second action. And let's go big. 2 steel. Because you do actually have to have 3 stadiums by the end of the game to avoid punishments. 2 of that, 2 of that. So I've got no food left over. Whenever you build a stadium, get a food. Do I want it over there? Might help building a spaceship. Go on then. But that'll help building a stadium. Okay. And technology. What about this? When taking a spaceship, stadium, or infrastructure, choose from 2 more, and this technology provides me with a smiley face. Bot is taking a structure away, the old one. Still not into the 2s yet. I think I'm going to spend an energy to do a 3rd action. I'm going to build another stadium, but just go cheap. This one just wants 1 food. Because I can also get a food from that and do a technology. The top up here is settle a sea site for free. I mean, that's a population and 2 factories. Or putting 3 population out without having to pay for them. Yeah, I need to make that happen. Okay, bot is building a stadium, the newest stadium. Oh, 5 smiley faces. You can only have the things that would provide you 4 or 5 smiley faces in the solo game in rounds 3 or 4. So some of them have been put at the bottom of the deck. Okay, maybe we're not winning that competition anymore then. So I've now got 6 versus 9. I mean, I could. Having the resources to do it might be a problem. So what am I on now? 4, 6, 8. And we want to be on 11. This is going to cost 2 energy. I think let's do a technology and gain a resource. And I want to gain an energy on this side so I could move a spaceship over. Yeah, and then technology is going to be settle a sea site for free. I do want to get factories out as well. But let's see, what does this double do? That would up my food production by 4. And steel by 1. And it's 3 more people settled, isn't it? Settle a site for free. So that goes up 1. That goes up 4. Production's looking pretty good. Then, so they're like the requirements for the race game, I think. You've got to get your production high enough. The bot is gonna settle 1, 2. Oh, knocked that. B 1, 2. Ah, too late, mate. Already there. And now it's going to get tricky with energy. 4, 6, 8, 9. Do I want to get a spaceship? Let's just check the endgame scoring. So you score points for your lowest production marker. Oh, it says on the back of my thing here. There you go. So your lowest production marker at the moment, I've got one on 6, so I'd only get 5 points for that, unless I could up that a bit. You get points for your goal cards, and then you lose 2 points for each old world site that was not evacuated, and an additional 1 point for every population. So at the moment, wrong button. I've got 2 sites that haven't been evacuated, and 2 population amongst those sites. 3 points for every stadium I'm missing, I lose. So you're expected to have 3 in the new world. And -3 for each penalty chip. And then you get points for happy faces. Player with the most gets 4 in a 2-player game. Oh yeah, B2. He can go there. Thanks. I can't go there anyway, I've got no symbols. But he can go there. Right. So this could be my last action. Do I want to build a spaceship? What's going to be the best thing to do, actually? We've got 3 stadiums. Evacuating those people, being able to evacuate those people is going to save me losing 6 points. If I could get both of those off. That is all right, isn't it? That's a decent amount of points. Your production can go above 9 as well. Like, if I could get my production of everything to 9 instead, I would get 14 points. I have got steel. I have got a couple of people that could settle. I don't think in places that would make my steel go up that many. If I won the smiley face race, I would get 4 points. So that's not as worth doing. Because what I can do is, when I buy a spaceship or a stadium or infrastructure, I can draw 2 from the deck and choose from them as well. I can still do any number of action and still meet the goal. And if I can end on there, I'll be able to draw a card, and then the goal would let me play the card. So the card isn't essential. I can settle as long as I've got the steel for it. I can still settle with that goal as well. And I could have different symbols by the end, so maybe I will be able to go on one of these spaces that'll make me steel go up loads. Oh, and I want to have 4 spaceships, don't I? It's worth an extra 6 points if I can get 4 spaceships. Let's... But I've only got 2 steel. Have any of the spaceships we've seen so far only cost 2 steel? Yes, but they've also cost 2 food. Just have a look at the old ones. I don't think I can buy a spaceship with the resources I've left myself. If I... do another action, then I've got to earn 3 more energy to do anything. Like to buy the spaceship. If I do something to give me more resources. Oh, stuff. B4, 3 steel production. Yeah. You need to have that symbol to play into it. But yeah, one you're only getting 1 disc down, but 3 steel production on that space. And this one here, you could put down a factory and 2 population markers for 4 energy production in one great big go. I think it's got to be my last action. Yeah, I only need that one thing to settle to get that. If I want to, yeah, good point. If I just make sure one of my progresses is maybe on that space. Because if I get one on there, that lets me draw the infrastructure card, the goal lets me play it, and then being on here would give me the symbol I need to play on here without needing to get any production or anything like that. So probably going to be discarding some of me extra moves that I could have, unless I've got enough moves to move me all the way to the end, of course. I think it all points to... I could build the spaceship on this side. But the downside of that is it's probably going to cost me 3 steel. And I wouldn't have the steel to settle. Tricky, 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 tricky. The infrastructure card will give me production. I don't know if the infrastructure card's going to help that much. Getting to play that at the end. Let's just do something. Let's... Can we settle somewhere else? I've only got 2 discs. I will get more discs. Is there infrastructure that increases steel? Yeah, this one here need me to have 2 population sites in Tundra, which I do have. There's that one there that I could do. So what if we'd gained the food on here instead then? Thinking that we'll get the spaceship on here now. So I could have seen that I haven't left myself with... I didn't produce enough steel on this side to do anything. Probably thought I was going to do an action to give myself stuff. But, like, it's not going to carry anything. But we can just buy the spaceship and that's going to be worth 6 points. Just having it. Because you can have it on this side. And I can afford... Yeah, one thing's going to be left on the planet. Yeah, we could just buy... I don't get anything else special for buying a spaceship. I think 6 points is decent. And it makes me make a decision. Let's just buy the cheap thing. Oh, I don't even need the thing. I don't even need to do a take back. That just costs 3 steel. I can look at 2 other spaceships, thanks to my technology. There's one that costs 2 and 2, but I don't have that. Let's just spend the... Oh, that's all the steel, though. Yeah, we can't... That's why we weren't buying a spaceship, because you can't afford it. Because doing the action costs you all of your energy, pretty much. You can't buy the spaceship. You've already established that. I'm going to have another factory, actually. That might help for settling. If we gain something and do 3 exchanges... What if we gain... that? You're going to go over 10? 4, 8, 10, 12, 13. That's the max number you can have. If you do another action, you won't get the goal. Nice idea, because then I would have the resources to buy a thing and completely clear the planet off. Like with one more action, I could have done that. Maybe just build a stadium. Can I afford a stadium? I can afford the one that's... I can afford the one here that only gives me one smiley face. Maybe it's good to just have like an array of things and like an array of resources on the new world. Gain that, you know, for the infrastructure card. And I can do some swaps. I'll convert one into a food. Yeah, and that's all I want. I'll keep the other 2 as steel. Right, transport. We can still use this transport to bring a building, because a factory is a building, as well as something with a colour on. I couldn't bring them back, unfortunately. The spaceship can't take them, because of how I've left it. Oh, I could bring resources back as well, I suppose, couldn't I? Why not? Bring them back. Okay, and that's going to be my green factory on here. I've got a plan. See if it works. That energy's spent. Then, what is it after that? It's turn order. So, 9 to 6 means that I still stay last. Progress. Bot moves 11. Furthest thing along moves 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And oh, everything will go up 1 as well. When I go past that threshold, I'll grab that. So maybe everything will be on 10, which is more points. My progress is 8, 10, 12, 13. But we can add 2, 15 if I need it, which I don't think I do. This one's got to come along first. 1, 2. This shifts along and everything goes up 1. 2. Markers tell you that you've now got 10 or more or something. IRH. Look where Marty is. Is that too late though? No. He was on the board for a while. That's 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Is that what I need? I think so. I don't think I need any symbols. I know I could have had 13, but I'm leaving it there. So infrastructure, I can use that to take a card. And whenever I take infrastructure, I can choose from 2 more. So I'm going to be getting 3 steel and a food. So I'd like something that did energy and steel. This one. Oh, do I meet the requirements of it though? Oh, I think I do. Do I? No, I've only got 1 population and 2 factories in the tundra. That's a shame. Oh, this one does those though. A factory in the sea, I will have that. And population in the tundra, and it only costs a steel, we'll take that. My extra ones just go on the bottom. What's this high reach?
Hello.
So that goes into my hand, not played quite yet. So that's progress. Yeah, I don't know if it's pointing at him. Is there a space on the computer for it? Plug Marty in while I'm thinking. I did have his wire out actually, charging me iPad. I don't know if he's going to appear. I am here. I think you can still see me. There we go. I think it's a little bit zoomed out and wrong. But he's kind of there.
Go back on it.
It'll be quite small because I've changed the...
Because the arm is not right. But...
Can you see him? Yeah, I can move the... I can move the camera a little bit.
Just for bonus, Marty?
A little bit. He's torn his blanket down. Well, there we go. I don't know the retail price. It's probably on the... If you have a look at the Essen preview on BGG, it probably says there. Hey, everyone. So that's in my hand. We've had progress. We've had bonuses. So 13 is my 4, 8, 10, 12, 13. So I could have had 15 progress if I'd wanted it. So I've had 13, but I can subtract 2 and still have this. Which means I can play the card. Can I take the bonuses in any order? Because I can't actually play it yet. I think it said in any order. Let me check though, that I'm not cheating. No, resolve the bonuses in the order shown by the indicator. I haven't got a factory in the sea yet. So is there anything I could take out of those options at all? We're back to considering options again. I don't have anything in forest, unfortunately, so I can't play there. I can't play that one. I could play this one. That's a bit of a shame, isn't it? Oh, can't I? I can spend a resource to change, can't I? To refresh the display. I've got loads of like extra food and stuff. I'll spend that off the old world. Yeah, I like to do it in your turn. You shouldn't be allowed to do it now. If none of them are any good for me. And I'm allowed to look at loads, aren't I? So these are all 5s now. So... something in the sea and the tundra in the same line. Haven't done that. 2 things in the... I've got nothing in the forest, so we can ignore all of them. I don't think you can pay to do it loads of times. So no, I don't think an infrastructure card's helped us, unfortunately. But we'll still get to settle. And I was planning on settling here. It doesn't really matter, actually. Because... I was going to settle here and put both my factories in, but it's only considering your lowest thing, so here or here is the same end result, I think, because steel is my lowest thing. Pay the steel, pop that out, because I've got the symbols on the progress track there. Still did a fair bit of stuff, though, I think. And then we don't need to do cleanup. So our final score is going to be... my lowest resource is... oh, I need to get me 3 steel. My lowest resource produces 10, so that's 19 points. I have nothing to note this down with. 19. Then, goals in it. Not the solar game, tell me about the points game. There we go. Yeah, goal card. 19, 19, 19. So where did your progress, both your satellites, both your progress markers get to? They got past the sea, so that's 17 plus 19, so that's 36. 36. The bottom goal I did every time, so that's 39, 43, 49. So I did it all 4 times. Spaceships, 52. I got 3 of them, so 55. And I'm not going to win the things. I'm so close to the 60 is considered a good score. I haven't had my points taken off me yet. 55 minus... oh, wait a minute. That's... I've moved aside that shouldn't have moved. I don't know where I had it. Oh, it's here. one site got left. So -2 plus a further 2 for it being population. So 51. I do have 3 stadiums, so the people rejoice at that. But I've got this, which is another -3, so 49. And then if you have at least 3 stadiums on the new world, you score points for happy faces. In a 2-player game, play with the most, which is the bot, gets 4. Even though they're not really getting points, I get nothing. So that is 49 as a final score. That's not bad for a first go, is it? It says in the solo, we think 60 is a good score for a start. No, it's not, because I haven't done a good score for a start yet. And Marty's cleared off now. I've turned his camera on. But yeah, I think that's roughly got it down. I think I made a mistake with prefabbing factories in the very beginning. I'd have to look back. But anyway, hopefully, I don't know if we'll get a chance to do another evacuation before Essen. I want to, but I want to do a million things. But I want to do another game of it where we do the advanced version, which is probably going to take me longer. It'd be lovely to do it while it's all fresh in my mind, but yeah, everything's there's an armchair full of games downstairs, which doesn't sound like a lot of games, but you can pile them up pretty high on an armchair, and they all want playing before Essen. So we'll see what we can cram in. But yeah, like I think that would really guide you and confine you, probably in equal ways. In like you could gain a resource or make 2 infrastructure moves. You can do them. You can do them both. And I think in either order you like. Let me find the rules page for the advanced action variant. Where is it? You can do this in the solo mode. There's also a couple of things I should mention. If you're thinking of multiplayer, there's loads more goal cards as well. I don't know if I've kept them out. There's more things. So there are these public goal cards. You can choose to have... How many of these come out? 3 at random come out during setup, and the first player to meet the objective shown, get 3 spaceships, get 4 stadiums, gets the reward on there, some points and some production. And you can also play with a side of this, which is for line majorities. You choose side A or B of the card, and you mark the sites, the sites on the board that are labelled with numbers. You mark those particular sites with these, kind of like the solo markers, that have got an arrow pointing down, and they are basically going to point at a line on the new world. So let's go for like 1. So that would go there, right? And it's pointing in a line down here on the world. And you score points for majorities on here. You evaluate each of the lines. The player with the most sites in this line gets 6 points, then 4 points, then 1 point. In a 2-player game, 4 points for first place, nothing for second place. So yeah, you'd have 3 of those out each game to add to it as well. And you can have the public goals, and you can have the advanced actions all in one go if you want. But yeah, the advanced actions, you get 7 of these at the start of the game. And you choose 4 of them and discard the other 3. And then on your turn, you've got a little thing on here reminding you that you can only go in each group once per round. One group, 1 action per round. But yeah, you've got 4 cards in your hand, and you have to choose. If I want to play a card from a group like I did this game, then one of your cards from your hand goes to do that. You're still paying for the actions as normal with energy and all that stuff. But you can also play the card itself to be an action, not under an action slot, and you do the stuff that's on the card instead. So the action costs 1 less energy, gain 2 steel and 1 food. And when you're gaining stuff, remember, they can go in either world, and the power level is on the card rather than the action group that it's in. So if it's divided into 2 parts, you can do the things in either order. So research technology and prefab and energy factory, you could do those in either order. Power levels on the card. Oh, if you're using these, you need the generous bonus variant. I guess because it's harder to guarantee an exact number on the power level if you're drawing these cards. Some of them are flexible as well and let you choose a power level out of a couple of or 3 options. And yeah, every time you play a card, you draw another one from the deck, so you've always got a hand of 4. And next year, you draw 3 to make a hand of 7, discard 3, so you've got a bit of choice of what you're going to start out with. So there's all of that you can do to change it. And as I say, I would like to be coming back soonish. We'll see how soon it manages to be with the advanced action variant, and see if we can not only crack 60 points, can we get to the mastered 80 points? Probably not with one more game under the belt, but hey, it's been fun. I hope you've enjoyed this and gotten some idea of Evacuation, despite any goofs that there might be in there. And you know, we've played Evacuation, haven't we? If there's goofs in there, I'd still consider it that I've played Evacuation. I didn't win. It doesn't matter, does it? Not that it matters anyway. Thank you everyone for being here. There are more videos coming, as there always are. Next week we've got Millennia launching from Karma Games, of Clans of Caledonia fame. And Bone Wars is launching from a Game Brewer of Many Games fame. And I'm going to have playthroughs for both of those coming. The Bone Wars one, as I said, it's gone a bit wrong, so I'm going to do another one, but it's going to have to be live. So probably going to be live on Monday night doing that. On Sunday, a new story series starts. I know we had a week without one, but let's say things have been a bit rough. And it's going to be a bit of a more loose series because I don't know how long it's going to last. And yeah, I don't know when I'm going to have time to squeeze it in. But we are going to have the first episode at least of a campaign, a session at least, of Shadows of Brimstone, which I have been very enamoured with in the last few months. Not really in the last month because I was away, and then I haven't had a chance to do anything since I got back really in the last it's 2 weeks now. Oh wow, is it 2 weeks? It can't be that long, can it? Probably is. Yeah, there's more stuff coming. There's stuff happening on Patreon. It all happens thanks to your support on Patreon or Ko-fi and stuff. It's how I'm able to be here doing this, to be here panicking and recording all of this stuff. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you can enjoy. You can join me for live things and that as they crop up. As I say, the next time you'll see a playthrough on Sunday, and I think I'm going to be live on Monday as well. But yeah, stay tuned for when that comes up. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here, and see you for the next game. Bye, everyone. Bye, bye, bye.